Derrick Lewis versus Aleksei Oleinik took place in the main event of UFC Fight Night Vegas 6, Lewis versus Oleinik, and we've just wrapped up. It was an amazing fight while it lasted. I thought it was going to go the way of Aleksei Oleinik. My prediction was that Aleksei Oleinik was going to get the job done by submission in the first round. I thought he would eventually get Derrick Lewis to the ground. As soon as he got him to the ground, he was going to immediately submit Derrick Lewis by rear naked choke. That was my prediction. Derrick Lewis proved me wrong. He gets the job done against Aleksei Oleinik by second round TKO, dropping him with a nice right hook at the start of the second round after a rough first round of just being on bottom, being victim to all of Aleksei Oleinik's scarf hold attempts. He was going for that scarf hold on both sides on Derrick Lewis. Almost had it at one point, almost had it in another point as well, but I genuinely think that Derrick Lewis's head and neck fat was just too much to scarf hold against. Honestly, because anyone else in that situation is probably going to tap, but Derrick Lewis is just so large around his neck and his back fat of his neck that he just was somehow able to survive that scarf hold against Aleksei Oleinik. Lived through it. Very good from Derrick Lewis. He stayed calm the entire time. He was comfortable in those positions. Aleksei Oleinik was also going for other submissions as well, and Derrick Lewis was just staying patient, eventually waiting for his moment at the end of the round to get back up, start again in the second and start with some heat, which is exactly what he did. Started the second round with a flying knee that almost finished Aleksei Oleinik, but actually landed on the chest, then landed the right hook on Aleksei Oleinik, earning himself a finish in the second round. Great performance by Derrick Lewis. I'm so glad that we now get to see Derrick Lewis versus Curtis Blaydes. However, I'm going to fucking say it. Don't fucking say it, Guru. Don't fucking say it. Be a sheep and be like the fucking rest of them. Derrick Lewis won. Be happy and ignore the rules of MMA. No, Guru. Tell them what fucking happened. Be the voice of reason. I'm gonna fucking say it. I'm gonna fucking say it, I said. This fucking guy. Anyway. Derrick Lewis landed illegal shots to finish this fight. 5 of them to the very back of the head. So much so that Aleksei Oleinik supposedly had a cut on the back of his head because of these illegal shots. I don't make the rules of MMA, but they are there. We need to follow them. There needs to be a punishment if you don't follow them. Otherwise, don't have the rule. How about that? How about if you don't enforce the rule, get rid of the rule? Then we'll all be happy. But don't get rid of the rule, because punching someone in the back of the head is very, very dangerous. The 12-6 elbow is absolutely bullshit. Absolutely bullshit. I don't give a fuck about the 12-6 elbow. Remove it if you want. Who cares about that rule? And punches to the back of the head are extremely dangerous when you're on top of someone. Aleksei Oleinik was coming in on a single leg, and Derrick Lewis rained down at one point when he had Aleksei Oleinik against the cage, towards the cage, when Oleinik was cage side compared to Lewis in that finish, towards the end of that finish. Derrick Lewis rained down 5 unanswered shots to the back of Aleksei Oleinik's head, which concussed him and then led to the TKO finish. Herb Dean called off the fight. People are telling me, who cares? You can't hit people in the back of the head. I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna get the dislikes on my video. I really don't give a fuck about dislikes anymore. I said the same thing over and over and over again. I always have the unpopular opinion. In a week's time, people are going to come back to this video and they're going to agree with me. Derrick Lewis landed about 5 or 6. I would say 5 confidently. I've watched the replay again. Shots directly to the back of the head of Aleksei Oleinik while he's coming in on a single leg. I don't mean to be the guy that's the spoiler of the party right now, the party pooper. But I am just going to follow the rules of MMA. Because they're the rules of MMA. And if Oleinik did that to Lewis, every Lewis fan would be so pissed off. And there are moments that fighters can choose to go for the back of the head, but they don't choose to strike from those moments because they can't hit people in the back of the head. There are so many opportunities in fights, including this one, for people to throw punches to the back of someone's head, but they don't do it because it's illegal. I don't care if Oleinik was dropped beforehand. You don't throw 5 unanswered shots to the back of someone's head. It's illegal. but good win from Lewis. I'm so happy he won. I'm so happy he won. People were telling me that I'm biased because I had money on Oleinik. I had £2 on Oleinik. I don't give a fuck. Okay? I really don't. I wanted Lewis to win. Now we get Lewis versus Blades on the main card of UFC 256 in December. That's the plan, and that was my plan from the very beginning. Lewis versus Blades was the ideal situation. It was a risky fight for Lewis to take on Oleinik. Yes, I predicted Oleinik to win by first round submission. He almost got that done, to be fair. But Derrick Lewis, first of all, shocked me by going to the ground so willingly against Oleinik. But you know what? I thought, you know what? He's doing some pretty good scrambles here. Maybe I don't know what I'm talking about. But then eventually Aleksei Oleinik came back in after some illegal shots were landed in the first round of that fight. Oleinik still gritted it out, got the takedown, was dominating Lewis towards the end of the first round, got the first round 10-9 to Oleinik. You can't land illegal shots, man. I don't want to make this all about the illegal shots, but I feel like no one else in the MMA world is going to mention it. I said the same thing about that Michailidis guy versus Andreas on one of the cards not too long ago. You know, that guy from Lithuania that was on one of the cards that's actually English. He was on the prelims of one of the Fight Island cards. He landed illegal shots to the back of that guy's head. I said it immediately. Those are illegal shots. You're not allowed to throw them. They did nothing about it. People can watch back the video, and they've watched it back now on BT Sport. They have the video up there of that TKO. They can see it's illegal shots. The result of the fight has not changed. So what do? We removed the rule about shots to the back of the head, because it happened in Usman versus Covington as well. Usman fired a bunch of shots to the back of Covington's head and was awarded a finish because of it. Is there rules for some and not rules for others? People have lost fights from hitting people in the back of the head before. Do we not enforce them anymore? Are those rules no longer there? And before someone tells me that John fucking McCarthy says that those were illegal, John McCarthy stands by every referee, regardless of what happens. John McCarthy, regardless of whether he wrote the rules or not, I don't give a fuck. I'm actually sick of hearing John McCarthy. He said he wrote the rules and they were legal shots. Apparently. Well, multiple people in my chat told me. They could be trolling me right now. John McCarthy stands by the decision of every single referee, regardless of how bad that decision is. Because they're all friends and they all fucking circle jerk each other. And none of them want each other to get fired. They were illegal shots, but Lewis got the win. And he probably would have won anyway. And I know all those arguments are going to come my way. You can't hit people in the back of the head, man. You can't do it. It's unfair. Oleinik's trying to get in on a single leg. The reason why you can't hit people in the back of the head, because one, it's dangerous, but two, it gives people a chance in that deep single leg situation to get back on top, because they know that their head is not going to be pounded in by someone. Aleksei Oleinik, regardless of what you think about the rule, or what you think about how the fight would have gone anyway, Aleksei Oleinik took his pen 8 weeks ago, or 7 weeks ago, however long it was ago, and signed a contract that told him that these rules are going to be followed and that no one's going to hit you in the back of the head. He was hit in the back of the head, so much so that he had a cut on the back of his head. You can't do that. But we're just going to ignore it. We're going to ignore it because Lewis won. But if Oleinik did it to Lewis, everyone would be fucking pissed off. It's so hypocritical of the MMA community. I wanted Lewis to win as well, regardless of my £2 bet on Aleksei Oleinik. I wanted Lewis to win as well. I wanted Lewis versus Blades. I'm happy that we got Lewis versus Blades. You can't throw illegal shots to the back of the head. That's kind of what my video is about, because we could talk about the fight, we could talk about the scarf hold. Derrick Lewis did a real good job staying patient in there. Very good defense. Defended against the Americana as well. Very good. A bunch of Kimura attempts also from Aleksei Oleinik. I thought Aleksei Oleinik should have gone for a little bit of simpler submissions. I feel like sometimes Aleksei Oleinik was sneaking in an Ezekiel choke, which was kind of close at times, so you got to watch out. I don't think you should have pulled guard against Derrick Lewis as much as, you know, you don't want to be doing Ezekiel chokes against Derrick Lewis, because if you lose it and you don't get an Ezekiel choke finish, Derrick Lewis is on top of you in full mount. Aleksei Oleinik was a savage. He got up out of the bad situations in the first round, got into the second round after winning back the first round with his submission attempts and his top control. Lewis lands a big shot after a flying knee spins Oleinik off balance. Good job. cracks him with a right hand. Absolutely perfect. And until you shake him round and smash him in the head 5 times, and then the camera angle from the UFC tries to hide it from us by putting Derrick Lewis's leg in the way, and it has to take for the entire event to be over before they show us the angle that shows very clearly that Aleksei Oleinik was being hit in the back of the head 5 times. But that's okay. No one cares because Derrick Lewis won, and I'm just a salty loser, I guess, apparently, even though I'm just a guy following the rules of MMA. My bad, guys. Keep doing it. I keep doing it. Who was Modestas Bukauskas, I think his name was. Is that the guy's name? Modestas Bukauskas. Modestas Bukauskas. He fought a guy named Andreas Michailidis, I want to say. Yes, Andreas Michailidis. UFC Fight Night. I believe it was Qatar versus Ige. Yes, it was. It was on the prelims. He threw a bunch of 12-6 elbows to the back of the head. No one cared. They stopped the fight. TKO win for Modestas Bukauskas. Is the back of the head rule there or is it not? I need to know in the future before I start predicting fights because I'm never going to pick a guy on the ground ever again. If the back of the head rule doesn't exist anymore, let me know, UFC. Let us know because you're not enforcing it anymore and you haven't been for the past few years. Let me know because anyone who goes for submissions is in dire danger of having the back of their head smashed in because apparently we allow that to happen now. Like and subscribe. Thank you for watching. Good win from Lewis anyway. I'm actually glad that Lewis won. Now we get Lewis versus Blades. Oleinik versus Gustafsson. I don't know. I don't know what they want to do. If they want to do Oleinik versus Gustafsson, I am down to see that one. I mean, it probably would be a bad matchup for Gustafsson, seeing as he just got choked out by Fabricio Verdum. But still, Oleinik versus Gustafsson's fun. I'll make that fight. Cool. Make it happen. Derrick Lewis versus Curtis Blades. I just like the rules of MMA. Sorry, guys. Dislike the video away if you don't like the rules of MMA. Goodbye.